Hello y'all, this is Silenx and you're watching episode 2 of Let's Learn Static Web Development and Not Make Our Life Miserable. So in this series I'm going to teach you how to do static web development, and this is the episode 2. I'm really excited for this one because this one is the most favorite part of like coding, installing IDE. Now what the hell is an IDE, Silenx, you might think. IDE means Integrated Development Environment. Now, you can write code anywhere. Like you can write code in your phone, you can write code in your notepad, but that would be a pain in the ass. Just imagine if you're writing code and someone is helping you do it, like someone is magically auto-completing your code. Well, that is what an IDE does. An IDE gives you an environment, it gives you an application in which you can easily write your code and just use stuff like autocomplete and plugins and extensions and stuff like that. I'm just gonna check if my OBS is recording. Okay, it is. So in today's video, we're gonna check out one of the best IDEs I have ever seen, Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is an IDE which is managed by Microsoft itself, and it's like the best IDE I have used. I have used Sublime, I have used Notepad, I have used Atom, and if you don't know any of these are really good IDEs, but the best of them is Visual Studio Code, which for short we call it VS Code. So now we're just gonna install VS Code. We're gonna go to Google, search VS Code, and then you can download for Windows. It's gonna start downloading. I have already downloaded it, so I'm just gonna open the installer. And here you have to accept the agreement. Then you have to check all 4 of these boxes. Now this is super important. You have to check all 4 of these in order for Visual Studio Code to work the way I will show you to, I will tell you to work with it. So these 4 are important. Just remember that these 4 are important. Check all 4 of these and only then press next and then press install. I'm not gonna install it because I just installed it. I just updated it like today, so I'm not gonna do it again. I don't know, I'm just lazy. I'm just gonna cancel it, and you have to install it, of course. Now, why I told you to check all 4 of those boxes, I'm just gonna tell you. I'm gonna go into my folder repository. This is a drive on my PC in which I keep all the code, so it stays organized. I'm gonna go into a web branch, and I'm gonna go into an already made folder that I've made for you guys, which is this one, web dev course. And I've already made a folder named episode 2. We're gonna go inside of it and we're gonna press right click. And as soon as you press right click, you can see that option open with code. Now that option has been added to Windows because you checked all 4 of those boxes. That's why this is here now. And if you press open with code, Visual Studio Code will open right into this folder, which means now you can work in this folder using Visual Studio Code. If I make a file here, which I will say text.txt, then that file is gonna appear here as well. So you can just say these both are like synced now. This folder and Visual Studio Code are now synced because I've opened Visual Studio Code in this folder. Now there are more ways to open a folder in Visual Studio Code, which I'm just gonna show you now. I'm just gonna open Visual Studio Code like this, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to File, I'm gonna go to Open Folder, and I'm gonna go to my repository, and I'm gonna go to my file wherever it is, Web Dev Course, and I'm gonna select the folder, and I'm gonna press Select Folder, and then it's gonna open the folder in Visual Studio Code. Anyway, the way I want you to open it is quite different and it's quite quirky, and I'm gonna tell you why I want you to open Visual Studio Code in this manner. So all you have to do is go into this URL box type of thingy in Windows, right? Type CMD, and then this black box would appear. If you already know what this black box is, then it's cool. Otherwise, this is called a command prompt. No, not a command prompt. This is called the command prompt, the command line interface for Windows. So all it does is it provides you with like hackerman techniques. You can just type color2 then you can type title hack, and then you can become a hacker. Of course, I'm joking. Anyway, what you have to do is you're gonna type dir. It's gonna list all the folders in the current directory. If you don't understand any of this, just don't worry. I'll make a detailed video on command line interface, but I'll just repeat whatever I'm doing, okay? Just go into the URL, type cmd, then type cd, and then the name of their folder, the name of your folder, /ep2, and then type code dot. This will open Visual Studio Code in that folder. Now you could have easily gone into this folder, used this functionality and open Visual Studio Code here easily, but why I used CMD instead? I use command prompt because when you become a really big coder or you become a really experienced one, you have to get like used to command line interface. You have to use CMD a lot. That's why I just want you to get used to it. Anyway, now that we have opened Visual Studio Code and now we know how to open it, I'm gonna go and tell you a little bit about Visual Studio Code, like how you can use it. So all you need to know in Visual Studio Code for now is this is File Explorer. This is where all of your files will be shown. This is where your code will be shown. And this button is extensions. Now I realized that this button wouldn't be in your Visual Studio Code if you have just installed it. Don't worry about it. Just go into this button, press it, and then it'll show a lot of extensions, and there are like a little bit of extensions I want you to install. Just type here HTML, and then it's gonna show you like, yeah, see, HTML snippets, HTML CSS support. You have to install both of these. I haven't installed this one, so I'm just gonna install it, but you have to install both of these and then search for live server, and then it's gonna show you another really good extension, and then install the live server extension as well. Now that you have installed all three of these extensions, your Visual Studio Code is up and ready to do some static web development, hackerman stuff, and everything like that. So now we have set up our Visual Studio Code for coding, and in the next episode I'm just gonna open Visual Studio Code and I'm gonna get straight to HTML and just gonna do hackerman coding and stuff like that. Anyway, that was all for this video. I'll meet you guys in the next episode. Till then, take care of yourself and the family. Silenx signing off.